Hey everybody, and welcome to Fitt's fucking Sports News. I'm your host, Fitt. For those of you who don't know me, I am a previous... excuse me, I just hit the bong before this show. Previous user, I've been around since season 1. Yeah, I think maybe it was like day 3, technically, but...
That still counts as day 1.
Yeah, so I've been around for a little while. I left... excuse me, I did say I smoked. I've been doing this for a couple of years. 5 years now? Mm-hmm. Took a little hiatus. Did the same thing the season before where I came in season 2. It's just kind of how life has worked out for me both times where it's like, okay, I'm going to leave for now. I can't come back. And then I start seeing free agency, and I'm hanging out at Mo's house, and I'm like, fuck it, let's do this shit. Speaking of free agency, that's what we're going to talk about next. Some quality players available, and some guys won big, some guys won, and some guys didn't win so much at all, and we'll talk about all that here. Some notable guys, starting with... I just like this pickup for Muck and what he's already added to the team via trades. He picked up Mike Williams, wide receiver, big body, solid player. I really like that addition to the offense in addition to what he added to the defense that we'll talk about later. Okay. I also like Cookie I'll mention later too. I like what he's done this offseason, and I like that he kept Ruggs. He decided he was going to keep Ruggs, and I think that's a good idea. A very hard player to make up for. But anyway, he picked up Tyron Smith, outside linebacker. I think he was the top pass rusher in free agency. He picked him up, superstar. Anytime you can add abilities, especially at pass rusher. Anytime you can put pressure on the quarterback, disrupt the throw at least, make something go incomplete at the very minimum, maybe give yourself a chance for an interception. So I like the Tyron Smith pick. Like, didn't have the money for him myself, but I thought it was very solid. Next, I like Tennessee and Ice. Picked up Trent Brown. A guy I was looking at, but then decided to go with Aaron Rodgers, so I looked elsewhere. But the top right tackle, this is very solid. He added some other offensive linemen via trade, so he's really beefed up that offensive line. I saw that other free agency pickups, he was looking for speed. He was targeting those kind of guys, so smart. I don't know if he got Breida or not, but he was looking for... he had a bid on Breida, I did see. I was kind of just looking around at players and guys who were bidding on what. But, so again, big pickup, solid. My final notable is Trey picked up Jadeveon Clowney. So Clowney's going to the Ravens. I know he's not a superstar or X Factor or whatever, but Trey plays the game better than anyone else. Jeez Louise. Okay, bunch of just fucking smokers over here. He places his player in the position in which, like, you think you want to go. He's very good at taking away what you think you want. That creates time for the pass rushers to get to the quarterback. And Clowney is just a physical freak. I would not be... Thank you. This show is sponsored by Nestle. Flavored water splash. Nestle, drink me up. Okay. That's not really... Okay, anyway. So, physical freak. He's going to get to the quarterback. I think he'll have him by Superstar X Factor. I know he's somewhat older now, but it doesn't matter to me. I think he's going to do some things with him. Moving on. I don't have actually, I do have a segue. Sorry. Last one. The big winner to me in free agency was the Steelers' former team. Shout out to Death for getting Armstead. I think the only one, if I remember the show correctly, the only one who bet on him, and that was the number one player in free agency. So he got the top guy, and really just beefs up that offensive line. The Steelers' offensive line isn't very strong currently as far as like overall and stuff like that. I think in real life they're also not very strong. So getting a 95 overall player, 31 I believe. So he'll have 2 solid years at least, maybe a third if you wanted to keep him. Thought that was good. He was also able to pick up DeCastro again. Which again, it's 85 overall player star. So I thought he had 2 very high overall players that he picked up that I thought were great. So he was my big winner as far as the draft went, or the free agency silent bids. And I know that we still have another day coming up. I think in about 30 minutes we're going to be closing it out. But I think you can't really beat what he's done in those 2 like big name pickups. As far as not so fortunate, and the only reason why I know this is because fortunately for me I did get these guys, but I felt sincerely bad about it because I ended up getting both. And that it was with Grimy, the Chargers. He didn't luck out, didn't have the favor in getting Aaron Rodgers or Devin McCourty. So that was tough. But I did want to mention, because he bounced back pretty well, he was able to pick up Bradley Roby and Will Fuller. Will Fuller does have drop pass. Does have the drop pass trait, but I mean, he's so fast. He's a burner, killer. The drop pass trait, I want to say, only affects a certain amount of, like 2 or 3 games, honestly, if I remember correctly from last year. So that's no problem there. I think he's going to really enjoy him over there, and that's going to go really well for him, honestly. So that's it for free agents. Right now, I was talking about trades. This is the second time I'm recording this, all intensive purposes, full transparency. I had a show, 42 minutes long. This one I'm kind of just running through because I've already previously recorded it. So you know what, I just want to get it out there now. Let you guys see it. Anyway, I talked to Mayor for like 15-20 minutes. Interviewed him. He came on, chatted, but it was just cool. We were hanging out. Shout out to Mayor again. Thank you, dude, for doing that. I know it didn't mean anything as far as tokens go or whatever, man, but I just enjoyed that time. I really appreciate that. Like, I needed that, so I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Anyway, that was like, okay, we were talking about trades. Him and I had a trade. That's how it kind of segued, and then I called him. So now you know kind of how that went. Just a great conversation. We talked a little bit about he was a rep at one point, but then, he's like, I'm going to take responsibility. He's like, I broke some rules, so that was just something that I wasn't going to be, part of, as a day one member. He just held himself to a higher standard and that kind of thing. So much respect to him. He did say he would go 15-2. So Mayor, I'm gonna still let him know, dude. You said it, so I'm just letting him know. Like, you wanted them to know anyway. So he's predicting 15-2. I'm looking forward to what he's gonna do. A big fan. Him and I, our preseason games last year, every season, week 4. Preseason game, we would play each other every single season. So we've played each other quite a bit. We know each other pretty well. Been around here for a long time. Always good to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to what you do this year. I hope you do go 15-2. If you do, I'm saying top 2. in the NFC. So anyway, trades. Talked the first one. I like this trade because of what he already has at the position. Grady and the Cleveland Browns picking up Julio Jones to go with Anthony Schwartz, who is my favorite player in this Madden so far. Pre-rookies coming in. 6 foot wide receiver, 97 speed, 21 years old. Like, it would just be so much fun to build up and just to see, like, kind of what you could do from it, do with him. You're essentially building that player up. I fought for him hard, but he denied me essentially right away, and rightfully so. But I like the Julio Jones trade. Immediate number one that frees up Anthony Schwartz, allowing with Landry too. So like Landry, you have to account for. If you don't, he'll kill you. It doesn't matter that he's not this burner. Like, he gets open and he finds the spots. But adding Julio Jones to those two, I mean, he's gonna fucking light it up. I'm looking forward to it. Only gave up a current second and a future second. Good value. Don't get me wrong. I think Tennessee got good value, but Grady didn't have to give up a first either, which could potentially be in play for an X Factor superstar player like that. I mean, we do have one upgrade left. So, I mean, it's a first value is what he gave up, and he didn't have to give up a first. So I do like that. I also like that Tennessee gets a second this year and a future second. That's good draft capital too. Having picks in the first 2 rounds is very important. Especially now. I mean, this new system looks like Chinese to me, so we'll see how I do with it. That being said, another trade actually involving Tennessee and Ice over there is DJ I. Like, well, how do I say his name? I shouldn't. Ice?
I call him Ice Baby.
Ice Baby. Dun, 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 dun.
Vanilla.
Dun, dun, dun,
That's what you call him?
No, okay. I'll just call him Ice for now, and he can yell at me later, I guess, if he doesn't like it. Another trade involving him, though, and you, by the way. Trade I like, center Hudson for Harold Landry. I like Tennessee vamping up the O-line. Nothing wrong with that. But I like it better for Mo in that Harold Landry has a high ceiling, in my opinion. He has good physical abilities, and if he can get to the quarterback, if he can get the stats and get a dev upgrade or get an opportunity for that, he is going to be an absolute game changer and a guy that can replace Chandler Jones, who you also traded.
Do you guys
Mo's here, just so you guys are aware.
do you want to know why? Do you guys want to know why I think I can get Landry to superstar though?
Go ahead.
Because I still have J.J. Watt that demands a double team. And do you know who's going to go right next to J.J. Watt?
Landry.
Harold Landry. So he's going to get consistent one-on-ones all year long. If he doesn't go to superstar, he's a $10 million a year outside linebacker.
Yeah.
If he does go to superstar, he's still a $10 million a year outside linebacker.
Yeah. I really like anytime you can get a younger talent to kind of develop, I'm a huge fan of. That's what I like doing in Madden. Getting my young guys and struggling almost with them at the beginning, but then like after a couple of seasons kind of seeing that growth and that transformation is really kind of cool. Speaking of that, we did talk Chandler Jones gone. Second and a fourth. I like that. That's good value too for a very old Chandler Jones. What is he, 33?
Yep.
Yeah, so
32 maybe.
I
think he's 32.
Okay, 32.
Maybe 33. I don't know.
Okay.
I just work.
He might be a year younger than me, actually. Yeah. So he'd be 32 in game then. Okay. So, I like the value you got for him. I'll talk about it later. I like the mock getting him with what he got in addition in another trade that I'll talk about later. But, also you got Tyron Smith.
I did.
And I had an article about it. Mike, the Cowboys sadly had to give up a lot of cap. He had to gain a lot of cap space and kind of had to have a fire sale and sell a bunch of guys that maybe he wasn't happy with getting rid of. And Tyron Smith was one of them. What did you trade him for?
A second.
Second round.
And I got screwed by the committee, but that's okay.
Well,
I still love them.
They're pretty fair in my opinion. They denied a trade. I would say it was a fair deny.
Alright, so I'm just going to go on the record one time. The trade committee denied me a few times, but they were very fair to everybody. It was very consistent. So I at least will say that.
I'll also go out on a limb and say the trade committee is the hardest working chat in the entire league.
Yo,
Bar none. Grady kind of just fires them out there, and then they all just go to work.
Bro.
It's phenomenal. Shout out to those guys.
Bro, it's amazing.
They really are fair. You might complain, but they really do have good reason, and I do.
There's no favoritism. That's what I love.
Yeah, I truly believe they have the league's best interest in mind.
Absolutely.
And they aren't selfish. They aren't none of those things. They are like to the T for the league. And they work their asses off. Shout out to you guys, honestly, as we're talking about all these trades. Moving on, though. Two guys I'm a fan of. Colton with the Miami Dolphins and Cookie with the Raiders. They had a trade. Carr and Farrell for Tua. I like this trade for Colton because Tua's a lefty. And I wouldn't want to play with the lefty. And so you get Derek Carr, who's like decently good. He's formidable in the Madden realm. And Farrell, who's a young talent that he can build up. I like this for Cookie, though, him getting Tua as well, because like he's a coach. I feel like he'll be able to play with a lefty. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, like, Tua's a great fucking quarterback. The only thing glitchy about him, not glitchy, like makes my head glitch is the fact that he's a lefty. So, yeah. Shout out to that. I hope he does well. I don't know if I couldn't do it. I'm just going to be honest. But I think Cookie will be able to do it, and he'll thrive. He's got a lot of good offensive weapons over there too. So, shout out to that. Okay, and Muck, I want to just talk about him. I talked to you. Got Chandler Jones from you, right? That's correct. But he also got Khalil Mack from the Bears, and yeah, they're old. Yeah, they're old. Who cares? They're going to kill quarterbacks this year. I don't know what you do with two pass rushers like that on each side. Both X Factors?
Yeah, I was not happy about him. Like, I had to financially, but
yeah.
It wasn't something that I was like,
thanks excited. A whole lot, dude.
So excited for this.
He already had one of them. You gave him another.
He has the best edge duo in SPA.
Bar none. Yeah, I agree.
And one of them is going to go back up to like 94, 95 next year. With the match player update.
Yeah. I'd probably pick Khalil Mack. Just personally. Played in Chicago. I'm not a Bears fan, but I do like the Bears, if that makes sense.
Oh, Bars.
Watched so many games there. Devin Hester, you are ridiculous. Okay, hold on. We're gonna take a quick commercial break.
Just tell. We're gonna take a quick commercial break.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. And we're back. Moving along. Talk about. I went through So what I like to do is go through rosters. Sorry, during the commercial break, I had a break. So we're doing that. Anyway, I like to go through rosters, and I like to like just go through players that I'm gonna root for like the cycle or like whatever it is. Usually it's the cycle. Even players that like I might even try to get. Most of these shouldn't be gettable, so it's like I'm going to be watching these guys, and like it's going to be cool to kind of see what these guys do with them. So I was just going through, and I was like, okay, which player? Some of these I did make offer. Well, one guy I made an offer for. Full disclosure. And all of these guys, hold on, let me just make sure. Who's Atlanta?
KP Gaming.
Okay, KP Gaming. Okay. My bad. So KP. Actually, all these guys have like a watch. Good people. All of these on this list. Anyway, so this is just great young talent, guys. I would like to have. Would be like, oh, that would be so great to have. So like, I'm rooting for these guys, and I want these guys to do well with their teams, and it's just like another reason to watch more games and stuff like that for me. So first one, quarterback. I only picked one for each position. I just did quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. That was it. First one is Pollux, San Francisco 49ers, Trey Lance. 22 years old, 81 overall, superstar. His abilities I kind of like. I've never seen fast break or have tried it, but I mean, if I'm going to do something and the quarterback's immediately going to react, yes, please. I'll sign up for that. He also has quick draw, which makes you throw it faster, I think, as well. Faster release as far as that goes. 92 throwing power, 87 speed, 90 acceleration. His accuracy is also like 84, 80. Don't quote me on this, please. 84, 88, 86 or something like that. So very good. It's just, yeah. Pollux, man, I'm good for you. I'm happy for you. Enjoy your dude. Ball out with it, man. Let's get him the X Factor Superstar. That'd be fun to watch. So I'll be watching. I'll be rooting for you for at least this reason. And I'm looking forward to that. Next, another I'll just call him a friend of mine, Bobby. Another Arizona guy, the Jacksonville Jaguars. ETN Jr., who I heard had like this. Did he have 1,000 and 1,000 last year? Which is cool. I like to see that. 22 years old, 81 overall. Just a star, but 92 speed, 96 acceleration. He's got all the things you need right there. Can catch out of the backfield, can run the ball very well, obviously. And so, although he's in my division when he's not playing me, I mean, I'll be rooting for him anyway. But yeah, Bobby ETN Jr. That would be my top young running back to kind of go after or whatever. I don't need one personally. This is just a guy I like. But like if you're looking for one and maybe he's willing to deal later for a good price, or just hold on to him, Bobby, and ball the hell out with him. Continue doing what you're doing, dude. Except against me, of course. Moving on, wide receiver, Grady. I think I might have went to him. This might have been like the second person I went to. I went to Mayer first. That's another reason why I called him again. Again, shout out to Mayer for that. But I then hit up Grady second about Anthony Schwartz. 6 foot, 21-year-old wide receiver, 74 overall. Okay, that maybe not be great, but at 21, like that's this dude is going to be so good. He's got 97 speed, 95 acceleration. He's added Julio Jones to that roster. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of those 1,500 yards and like 18 touchdown guys this season. Minimum. Like I'm saying, that's like the floor. I think he's going to be scary. Anyway, and especially I'm not in Grady's division anymore. I can root for him a little bit more than I did last year because it's like I really just want like room playoff races and all that kind of stuff. No, it's like what sure we're still in the same conference, but it's not the same. So looking forward to seeing what he does. That offense is gonna be fucking nuts. It's gonna be so good. Yeah. Anyway, and last but not least, tight end. It's kind of a no-brainer, but KP and Kyle Pitts, 21 years. This is like probably the best player on this board, actually. Kyle Pitts, 21 years old, 87 overall, 91 speed, 92 acceleration. Abilities, double me, and mid-in red zone threat. A tight end with red zone threat is godly. Just throw it up to him and watch what happens. Especially one within. I mean, that... My gosh, mid-in. Yes, he is without a doubt the best player on this list. Again, just another reason to kind of watch Atlanta and what they do because that's an awesome player and you kind of want them to do well. That's it for that. I mean, again, Mayor, I apologize, dude. Appreciate your time. Said it was fun. It was worthwhile to me, for sure. I appreciate it. It's always good to hang out with you, spend some time with you, and just kind of chat. Sorry I didn't have the mic on before. It is what it is, I guess, but we'll get to remember that time. I want to shout out to Mo, hanging out in the office. I've been able to check homework. Get on Madden, check free agency, that kind of thing, and it's been helpful. He's been giving me meals, so it's one less thing I got to worry about feeding me. Appreciate that, dude. Much appreciated. Excited to be back, guys. The community's awesome. Fierce competition too, which is always good for the soul. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having a team that's not the Steelers, actually. There's an added weight I feel like I had because I was the Steelers. And not to mention, that team is just so far away from what I would want of a team that it was a headache to get it to where it was last year. I'm looking forward to this Colts team, though, for sure. I got some fun pieces picked up that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to talking with everybody in the chat, competing with everybody, sharing some laughs, and yelling and swearing at one another, too, because it all kind of comes together like that. Just the way it is. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Until next time. It's a commercial.